Greetings! Welcome back to MTG Card Collector. I have to apologize now. I have dirty hands. I worked on one of my cars and yes, I got grease all over them. You see that? That's called grease. That's dirt. Unfortunately, no matter how much Gojo or cherry blue juice you use, sometimes it just doesn't come out easy. Next couple of days it'll get out. Took a shower, took a bath. Scrub. Yeah, it's dirty. Okay, well, sucks for everybody to have to watch this. But I'm going to do it anyways because, well, that's what men do. But before I open these packs, yes, I got two. That's all I could get, but I got two. Before I open those packs, we're going to talk about my Oathbreaker deck. I broke it apart. I blew it apart. I said, oh, it's just not good enough. If you'll remember, my Oathbreaker commander is Tezzeret, Master of the Bridge, who has the static ability like an enchantment. It says creature, planeswalker spells you cast have affinity for artifacts. It's a 5 loyalty. +2 Tezzeret, Master of the Bridge, deals X damage to opponent, where X is the number of artifacts you control. You gain X life. -3, return target artifact card from your graveyard to your hand. And then, of course, -8, exile top 10 cards of your library. Put all artifact cards in among them into the battlefield. We're really not trying to do these two. We're going to do this first one probably a million times and at least once or twice. Try to get it down. So with that said, you want to, of course, get as many artifacts out as fast as you can. But the signature spell, in case you get one of those people that just like to stick around, signature spell is going to be Battle at the Bridge. X, 1 and X. Now, remember, you can't cast this unless this is in play. You have to cast your commander in play and then then you can cast your signature spell. And a signature spell, just like the commander, the more times you cast it, the more it costs you. So in this case, it's 1 and X, but it has Improvise. Your artifacts can help cast this spell. Each artifact you tap after you're done activating mana abilities pays for 1. Target creature gets -X until on a turn you get X life. So, yeah. I mean, it's got... this has Improvise, so I'm able to use artifacts to cast it. My commander gives me affinity for my creatures and my planeswalkers. So, yeah, I got other spells in here that do other things. But let's talk about the land. I had to blow apart the land a little bit. You'll notice I got 1 swamp. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 islands. Yes, 7 islands. It's mostly blue anyway, so I don't really care. I can actually change out one of those islands for a swamp. But I got the Dimir Guild Gate, the Fetid Pools, the Sunken Hollows, the Drowned Catacombs, the Submerged Boneyards, the Polluted Deltas. Able to get my black and blue cards. That's what I need. Seat of Synod. It's an artifact land. Gives you blue. Nephilia Drownyard has a cool ability. Target player puts top 3 cards of their library into their graveyard. So, it goes on par. Darksteel Citadel. It's an indestructible artifact land. Stalking Stones. It's a land. I'm sorry, it's an artifact land. You cast 6 Stalking Stones. Becomes a 3/3 elemental artifact creature. And it's a land. Spire of Industry. Pay 1, add 1 mana of any color to your mana pool. Activates only if you have an artifact. I'm going to have artifacts. Inventor's Fair. Legendary land. Sacrifice Inventor's Fair. I'm sorry. At the beginning of your upkeep, if you control 3 or more artifacts, you gain 1 life. Pay 4, tap it, sacrifice an Inventor's Fair, search the library for an artifact card, reveal it, put it into your hand, then shuffle your library, activate this ability only if you control 3 or more artifacts. And then, of course, Sequestered Stash. If it happens to be in my graveyard, I can go and get the artifact. So, let's talk about this deck real quick. We need artifacts. I got plenty of artifacts. I got Mox. I got Timrid's Crypt. I got Everflowing Chalice. I got Contagion Class. These are regular artifacts. Got these 3 in just because they're free. Put them in play. Use the affinity. I can tap it. I mean, it's affinity. I don't even need to use the ability. It's affinity. If I do need to get rid of a graveyard, if I need a whole bunch of mana, I can just multi-kicker the crap out of this one, put 2 in there. So, Contagion Class. Oh, this is a great one for late game. Not so much early game. With Commander, early game's okay, but late game you get a whole bunch out of that one, which is great. Contagion Class, put a 1/1 counter on target creature, 4 and tap, proliferate, which is great because this one here, I'm able to hurt a creature for a long period of time or just get rid of a creature. And it's a -1/-1/1 counter, doesn't go away. it stays on it. So if they bring out Emrakul and I put 6 -1/-1 counters on it, or just keep proliferating till I have it, then Emrakul is not going to be as bad and nasty as you think he is. Howling Mine, because who doesn't want extra cards? I don't care if my opponent gets extra cards. Well, sometimes I do, but this time I don't. It's an artifact. Inspiring Statuary. Non-artifact spells you cast have improvise. Guess what these are? Non-artifact spells. Unwinding Clock. Untap all artifacts you control during each other player's untap step. Beautiful. I'm going to untap it when it's your turn. Paradox Engine. Whenever you cast a spell, untap all non-land permanents you control. That's just perfect. Perfect. Whenever I cast a spell, untap all non-land permanents I control. I love it. And of course, Contagion Engine. When Contagion enters battlefield, put a 1/1 counter on it. On each creature target player controls, and then proliferate again if I pay 4 and tap it. Proliferate and proliferate again. Why would you not do that? Especially if they have a creature deck. All right. Regular artifact creatures. I got a Thopter because it's free. I get a Hope of Gapir because she's just awesome. Costs 1. It's a 1/1. Sacrifice go until end of turn. Target player who has dealt combat damage to Hope of Gapir this turn can't cast non-creature spells. So it kind of works. Scrapheap Scoundrel. I'm able to get my stuff back. Phyrexian Revoker. Battlefield, name a non-land card. Activated abilities of the sources with that chosen name can't be activated. Oh, that's awesome. Steel Overseer. Put a 1/1 counter on each. +1/+1 counter on each artifact creature you control. Master of Ethereum has the power and toughness are each equal to the number of artifacts I control. Other artifact creatures you control get +1/+1. Adaptive Animation. It's a construct. You choose a creature type. I didn't really think of that one, but I guess I would just, depending on what is in play. Yeah. Adaptive Automation is the chosen type in addition to its other types. Other creatures you control the chosen type get +1/+1. I took all the mirrors out. I think I took all the mirrors out. Yeah, I took all the mirrors out. I didn't need mirrors. Mirrors, the sub-theme of mirrors, it was too weak. I mean, they were mana dorks, but they were just too weak. Scrap Trawler. Good way of getting another artifact creature you control into the graveyard. Hold on, let me rephrase this. Whenever Scrap Trawler or another artifact you control is put into the graveyard from the battlefield, return to your hand target artifact card in your graveyard with lesser converted mana cost. So if I lose my Adaptive Automaton, I can get back my Steel Overseer. You see how that works? It's kind of cool. Chief of the Foundry. Other artifact creatures you control get +1/+1. Solemn Solinculum. I think that's how you pronounce it. Cost 4. Comes in, you get a land. Put it in play. Oh, yeah, it comes into play tapped. Then I get to shuffle my library. Then if it dies, I get to draw another card. And it's a 2/2. I mean, it's not the greatest, but whatever. Phyrexian Metamorph. It's an artifact. It's a shapeshifter. It's probably the best artifact creature that I have, in my opinion, because it's anything. Whenever you may have Phyrexian Metamorph enter the battlefield as a copy of any artifact or creature on the battlefield, except it's an artifact in addition to its other types. So if I'm able to cast this, and let's say the other person has I can't think of anything, Terra Stomper. Okay, I got one too. Except mine's an artifact. And because this other creature is given +1/+1, it's actually 1 stronger. So there you go. And Spire Golem costs 6, affinity for islands. So if I have islands in play, boom, this comes in. It could cost me 1, 2, 3, or nothing, and it's 2/4. You would think I would do affinity for artifacts. Everything gets affinity for artifacts when he comes into play. So yeah. Anyway, so let's talk about the non-land spells, or non-artifact spells. Ancestral Vision, because why not, right? Why not? Mystic Remora costs 1. I get to draw I get to draw cards when people don't cast spells. I kind of like that. Sage of Latinum. This one's on the fence. This one's right on that edge of getting cut. Sacrifice an artifact, draw a card. I like it. Sacrifice an artifact. Torment of Hailfire. 2 and an X, because this one is a pain. A pain when it comes into play. Or I'm sorry, when you cast it. Sorcery. You're able to hit your opponent for 6 times of repeat the following process X times, which I'm going to, let's say 6. Each opponent, that would be them, loses 3 life, unless that player sacrifices an on-land permanent or discards a card. So that's 6 permanents, 6 cards, or 18 life. That's a lot of life. Anyways, Scion Master Thopterus, because if you get it out and you cast an artifact spell, create a 1/1 artifact. There you go. I don't care about the second part. 1 in a blue, sacrifice 2 artifacts, draw a card. I kind of don't care about that one because I want the cards in play. Word of Invention. 3 and X has Improvise. If you don't remember, it gives all my other creatures. Basically, I don't have to. I can use the Improvise to cast this by using artifacts that are in play. Should just read that, shouldn't I? Search your library for an artifact card with converted mana cost X or less. Put it in the battlefield, then shuffle your library. The only downside to this one is you better have an idea of what you exactly need. Because, yeah, there's no reason I've actually had 2 games where this one just sat in my hand and I couldn't. There was no card that I had, no artifact that I had that was going to solve my problem right then and there. I had spells, but not artifacts. So, got to be careful with this one. Paradoxical Outcome, which is great. Return any number of non-target, non-land, non-token permanents you control to their owner's hands. Draw a card for each card returned this way. This is great if you have 2 or 3 of those 0 mana cost cards. You get to bring them back. You get to cast them back again. But you also, let's say you have 3 of them. You bring them back into your hand. You draw 3 more cards. You put those 3 back into play because they don't cost you anything. And then you can play and more cards if you have to. And if you've tapped them because they have Improvise, boom, that's 3 more extra mana. Antiquities War, because this one awesome. 1 and 2. Look at the top 5 cards of your library. You may reveal a artifact card from among them, put it into your hand, put the rest on the bottom of your library in any order. Or I'm sorry, in a random order. Okay. And then number 3, artifacts you control become artifact creatures with base and power of toughness 5/5 until end of turn. That's awesome because if you have all of your artifacts out 2/4, 2/2, 3/3s, you know, I mean, sure, granted they're getting boosted in most of the cases, but this one, they're all 5/5s. They're all 5/5s, and then they all get boosted. Brawl's Expertise. Return up to 3 target artifacts and or creatures to their owner's hands. You may cast a card with converted mana cost 4 or less from your hand without paying its mana cost. I like it. I like it. So there you go. Bam. See? Cost 4 or less from your hand without paying its mana cost. Bam. Mind's Desire. This one costs 6. This one's a little bit more expensive. I'm sorry, more, expensive in mana. But yeah, shuffle your library, then remove the top card of your library from the game. Until end of turn, you may play it as though it were... play it as though it were in your hand without paying its mana cost. If it has X in its mana cost, X is 0. And it has Storm. Whenever you play this spell, copy it for each spell played before it this turn. So if you're able to get this off, you actually want some of these in your hand. This is kind of, where it comes into play with the Paradoxical Outcome. It's kind of a big one, but, take a look at that. If you have... Let's say you have Omniscience into play. It really doesn't matter. You may cast non-land cards from your hand without paying their mana cost. So if you have this into play, anytime you have cards, you want to be able to play them. It doesn't cost you anything. Paradoxical Outcome is a great way to get more cards back into your hand. And of course, you're going to cast it. But this is going to be the last one you cast. Because if you get everything off right and you cast this one, even if you shuffle everything and the top card is a land, it has Storm. So you're able to do it 5 times, 3 times. Even if you only do it 2 times, you value it. Granted, it costs you 6. So if you do it 2 times, theoretically, it costs you 3 per turn. But let's say you get to do it 6 times. That's 1 spell per mana. I mean, that's just awesome. This makes this free, but then again, it has Storm, so all your stuff is going to be free. The only downside, like it says, is if it has X in its mana cost, X is 0. So hopefully you don't draw one of the cards with X in it. Last but not least, Marionette Master. It has Fabricate 3 whenever an artifact you control is put into the graveyard from the battlefield. Target opponent loses life equal to Marionette Master's power. So with this one, you're going to basically make sure that the 1/1 counters are on her, not 1/1 solo, not servos. You want her to be a 4-6. Because that means anytime one of your artifacts are put into the graveyard, they're going to lose 4 points of life. So that's the deck. That's the new deck. Oh, I forgot the top. So besides Tezzeret, Master of the Bridge. I'll put that over there because of the light. I also got Tezzeret, Master of Seekers. Cost 6. It's a 4. Loyalty, untap up to 2 target artifacts. Its ultimate is what you love. Artifacts you control become 5/5 artifact creatures until end of turn. So plus them once, and then the next time you're going to get rid of them because you're going to, yeah. Then, of course, Tezzeret, Agent of Bolas. +1. Look at the top 5 cards of your library. You may reveal an artifact card from among them. Put it into your hand. Put the rest on the bottom of your library in any order. -1. Target artifact becomes a 5/5 artifact creature. And then, of course, -4. Target player loses X life, and you gain X life, where X is twice the number of artifacts you control. Karn, the Great Creator, because it's awesome. +1 until end of turn. Up to 1 target non-creature artifact becomes an artifact creature with power and toughness, each equal to the converted mana cost. And then, of course, -2. You may choose an artifact card you own from outside the game and exile it, revert. Yeah. That's very rarely ever going to get used. Scion. These two are basically, you want this one because it's going to be able to get you more colorless colorless constructs in play, but also to cycle through your deck, go through your deck faster. This one, activated abilities of artifacts in your opponent's control can't be activated, so that's kind of a nifty way of stopping them from doing stuff. So that's the deck. That is the deck. Hopefully it does me well. We shall see the next time I go to my local game shop, the LGS, and I will try. Now, one of the LGSs I go to, new one, well, not new, it's actually kind of old, Gamers Guild. Guys have been around forever. They've had to move around a couple of times. Shout out to my Gamer Guild buddies. Yay, guys. I still like games. I'm not going to say their name because if I do, then they'll probably get mad at me. I still like the other LGS that I go to, but and I've stopped the boycott and actually got these from them, but they don't do Friday Night Magic right now because because of issues. So let's open this up. We're getting close to 20 minutes here. Didn't realize it was going to take so long. So, zombie. Another zombie token. Love zombie tokens. Oh, hey, it's the Infiltrator. For all the ninja fans out there, it's an Infiltrator. It's a nice one. Snow-covered forest. Got to have our snow-covered forest. Snow-covered forest. And the rare is... Oh, wait, nope. Wing shards. Target player sacrifices an attacking creature and it has storm. That's not bad. And it's in foil. And it's probably worth about 30, 40 cents. So the rare mythic is Unsettled Mariner. Actually, I was watching one of these shows on this. This is actually a really good one. It's Changeling, so it's going to be in a lot of human decks. Whenever you or a permanent you control becomes a target of a spell or ability an opponent controls, counter that spell or ability unless its controller pays 1. So that will be used in a lot of human decks because it's a Changeling. It is a human too. Icehide Golem, Birthing Burrow, Bows. Let's see here. Hold on. Okay, snow. I'm not using snow artifacts. Why would I want that? No. Birthing Bows. 4. Create a 2 colorless shapeshifter tokens with Changeling. They're 2 color, but they're not artifacts, so I don't want them. Oathbreaker. I guess that's how you pronounce it. Squid illusion. Whenever you draw a card, put a 1/1 counter on Oathbreaker. I like it. It's kind of weird though. Winter's Rest. Defile. Shenanigans. Shelter. Ooh, Mother Bear. Always looking for bears. I am not making a bear deck. Just telling you. Moonblade Shinobi. Human Ninja. Ninjutsu. I like that. Spinehorn Minotaur. And Imposter of the Sixth Pride. Shapeshifter Changeling. 3/1. Okay. Yeah, I am not making a bear deck. I thought about making a spider deck. I got a bunch of spiders. But I don't like those. I don't like the commanders that I have for a spider deck. They don't work well with me. So Elemental. Oh, this one's one of my favorite ones. I like that. That's kind of cool. Snow-covered forest, and then sweet, hell yeah! Oh, yeah, buddy, that makes it all worth it right there. Nurturing peatland. Pay 1 life. Add add a black or a green. Sacrifice nurturing peatland. Draw a card. That's awesome. I like it. I like it a lot. So there you go. Nurturing peatland. That made it all worth it. That's about a $20 card. And I'm touching it with my nice greasy fingers. Well, they're not greasy. I washed them. Smeltering. Well, it's not like I'm going to sell it. I'm going to put it in my own deck. I mean, honestly. Smeltering Helix. Splicer Skill. Create a 3/3 column with artifact creature token splicing onto instant or sorcery. Valiant Changeling. Creature type among creatures you control. This effect can't reduce the amount of mana this spell costs by more than 5. So you have to pay at least 2. It's a changeling and it has double strike, but it's, I mean, maybe it's a 2 for 3/3. I don't know. I don't think that's. I mean, double strike's kind of good, but settle beyond reality. It costs too much. Gambit, Merciless Behemoth, Mindrake, Mana War, Rime Tinder. Untap another target snow permanent. Not playing with snows. Unearth. I think I played with that one already. Ooh, I like this card. Exile target creature you control, then return to the battlefield under its owner's control, and it has rebound. See, I like that. I'll blink everything out. Spell Snuff, cost 3, counter target spell. If you have 5 or less life, draw a card. Pacino, Sand Sprinter, Trample Haste, has cycling, so that's not bad. Cool thing is, goes back to your hand, doesn't go into the graveyard. So, I like that. Alright, well, if you enjoyed the content, where'd it go? There it is. If you enjoyed the content, please hit the like and subscribe. Hit the like button. Subscribe and ring the bell for notifications. Leave a comment down below. Very much appreciate it. And I hope to see y'all at my local LGS to play some Magic and maybe some Commander. And maybe even we'll get together and try this new format out, Oathbreaker. And have a great day.